everybody, and welcome back to the Traveling Circus. We are almost there. At the end of another year, 2021 almost in the books, and it has been a year of many changes for me, but none bigger than the change I made from a fiberglass bass boat to that express high-performance aluminum bass boat, that X21 with a 250 Yamaha SHO on the back. I've absolutely loved the boat. As you've seen, I've made several videos on the channel this year. I've made a lot of social media posts about the boat, but I've never really ran a boat that had this much curiosity, this much interest. A lot of folks DMing me, commenting on social media about this boat. So I've tried to keep everybody educated as I, myself, have learned more and more about the boat as the year has gone on. So I decided I would make a final video of the year, kind of walking you through to show you what wear and tear that I've been able to find after putting over 100 hours on that Yamaha, standing on that SeaDek all year, the high traffic areas, and let you guys make your own decisions about that Express X21. Let's head down to the shop. Down here in the shop with the X21, now let's take a look. I just wanted to show you the key areas like SeaDek wise and go over again how I had it set up, what I liked, what I didn't like. Let's take a peek. So the SeaDek gets a lot of attention, a lot of questions, and it should. I mean, it looks freaking awesome. It's a really cool alternative to carpet. I actually just washed it, so got some water spots here right now. But a little bit of wear and tear, but this is after, I mean, you got to think, man, I fish 2 and 3 people in here a lot, 2 on the front deck a ton. The motor's got over 100 hours on it. But I just wanted to show you how it held up. Really nice. Held its color. It's not really wore down that much at all. Did have a couple boo-boos. I did this with at a freaking car wash. Kind of dinged it up just a little bit there. But the only thing that I can find is a couple little places like this. And I'm sure some pliers or a bait got left there and it got stepped on. So I do have a couple little, you know, indentions. You may not get that with carpet, obviously, but I think overall I would give it about, I don't know, I'll say an 8 out of 10 for the year as far as how it held up. Easy to clean, easy to maintain. Look, I've hauled brush in this boat. I'll try to find a picture to put in this video. Sunk a ton of brush, had this thing filled, had mud in it, sand. It was amazing, and every single time it came out very, very clean. So there you go. There's the front deck SeaDek. Video at the first of the year about my setup, so I won't just completely bore you guys again with all the details, but ran the precision sonar, stacked mount, super solid. Of course, this end of the boat takes a ton of the beating when you're in rough water. Absolutely held up all year. Y'all saw Great Lakes out in the ocean, had it everywhere in between. So really proud of those mounts, how they held up. This one is a custom fit bracket just for the X21. They make them for basically every boat out there, but it just bolted. It's bolted through the deck. The Bass Tank did that. Darren at the Bass Tank, shout out Darren. Solid work, and really I couldn't be any happier with the way the Garmins were mounted up there this year. Recessed trolling motor pedal. This is completely useless to me. The cup holder, tool holder. If you put tools in there, any bass boat, I always feel like that shrapnel. I'll throw some jigs in there or something every now and then, but I don't really utilize this very much at all. Looks good, but a lot of bass boats do that, and I just, you know, whatever. You don't really need it. Power pole switches mounted on each side of the recess. Yeah, front end was sturdy all year. Other than a few random baits in the floor, this right here, of course, a really high traffic area where your feet are going to be the most while you're riding, of course, you and your co-angler, your partners. You're going to step on that a lot. SeaDek really held up well there. That step takes a beating. It's got a few little indentions on the SeaDek from whatever, I don't know, maybe hooks got stepped on, maybe baits. Same back here on the back deck. Perfect. And that was my number one thing, switching. Man, I've been a carpet guy forever. Could not be more pleased with the SeaDek. Like I said, 8 out of 10. You know, it fishes well in wet conditions. It dries off pretty fast. Doesn't get overwhelmingly hot. This color does get a little warmer than some of the others that I've stood on barefooted in the Tennessee River heat, but overall, very happy I went with SeaDek. One of my favorite features of the boat, just a ton of dang storage, man. But you can see, I don't know how many rods I got in there right now, but it's basically all that I own, or very, very close to it. They're stacked up in there. I think there's like 7 spinning rods in there, and Lord knows how many casting setups, but no rod organizer. I opted out of the rod organizer. They do offer this package with a rod organizer, but I feel I can get a lot more in there with just rod sleeves. So very, very happy with that. Of course, I showed you guys, I got a tackle storage video. Make sure you haven't, if you haven't watched it, go check it out. But holds a ton of tackle, never had any issues there. The boxes, for the most part, are very dry. I've had a great amount of success with things in these boxes staying dry. I will say the box behind my seat got a little wet, but I think it was from the lock. And this lock got on that side. These locks, the way they work, of course, they screw down with this nut. That one got a little loose. Get in focus. That one got a little loose on that side and stripped out almost. And I think that's where most of my water intrusion came from. But other than that, I get a lot of questions about that. Aluminum boats are notorious for that. These have a reverse pan. You can see how this water beads up right there. It's from where I sprayed it off. It goes in that drain, but it avoids the box. It goes right here in this tray. Of course, you've got this great seal around there as well, and a honey bun with your football jigs. Why not? Again, a precision sonar mount right here at the console with one 12-inch Garmin. This is the first time I've ran one at the console in a very long time, and I am 1,000,000% doing it again next year. Just cleans everything up, simplifies it, and I can do everything that I need to do looking for fish wise on one graph. 2 is kind of overkill. I understand why people do it, but I really, really like the one graph setup. Proud I went to that this year and never had a single issue with a Garmin all year. And I can say in 6 years of running Garmin's, never had an issue. Never replaced a unit, and to my recollection, never ever replaced a transducer. First time running this bad boy right here, 250 SHO on the Express. Loved the motor, had 0 maintenance issues all year long. It absolutely held up to long runs. I was blown away. Fuel efficiency, this boat's got 40 gallons of gas. There was one time at Pickwick I ran 120 miles in one day, round trip, had about 5 gallons, 6 gallons to spare at the end of the day. Never worried about it at all. And that's a long, daggum ways to go to catch a bass. Very proud of how the SHO held up. Looking forward to getting the new one, though. We got a little bit bigger alternator in that bad boy for 2022. Got one on the way. Pretty excited about it. But Yamaha held up. Power poles are great. No issues there whatsoever. Oh, I want to show you one more thing from Power Pole. So this was my first year running the Power Pole Charge, and I give it a 10 out of 10. Between that, Pro Guide batteries this year, absolutely zero battery issues for the first time in a very long time. And I don't understand the technology, but I know it works. Power Pole Charge, very cool system. You can check everything on your phone to make sure it's charging with the Power Pole app. Very cool setup that I'm proud I ran this year. Well, that's all she wrote for a quick little Express Boats X21 end of the year review. And I give the boat a 9 out of 10. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're sponsored, you do this, you do that. This is absolutely one of my favorite bass boats I've ever owned. Stability is amazing. I can get shallow. I can fish deep. I can fish open water. I fished 3 people out of this boat countless times, 3 adults this year, and nobody can tell when somebody's moving around the boat. Like, it's incredible how stable this platform is. That was one of my concerns going in, though, because I fished out of some aluminum boats in the past. This thing with this 96-inch beam, you don't have to worry about it. Super stable. Overall, speed-wise, was a little lower than I would like for it to be. Fully loaded, I was like 68 miles an hour. That's just me shooting you straight. I'm not a speed demon, but you would think 250 on an aluminum boat, I might be able to run a little faster than that, but I keep a lot of crap in here. I'm fully loaded down like you saw some of the videos earlier this year. That probably hurts me a little bit. I could have changed props as well. Like I said, I'm not a gearhead. I don't really get into that very much, but I would expect this boat to be in the low 70s. as I loaded it down through the year, tournament loaded, live wells, cooler full of ice, another guy in here, 68 miles an hour is about all I topped out. So just to answer that question, I get that question a lot. But rough water, you can go back and check out some of my rough water videos. This boat kept me dry. It absolutely lived up to every test and passed them with flying colors any test I threw at it in rough water this year. And I saw some rough water from the Great Lakes to going out in the Gulf of Mexico, Apalachicola Bay. Did some crazy stuff in this boat this year, and it passed every single test that I threw at it. Got my new one ordered, so if you're interested in an X21, I know a guy might make you a deal here in a couple months. Shoot me a DM. Drop a comment below, shoot me an email, lowbudgetlive@gmail.com if you're interested in this X21, because that 2022 has been ordered and it's been a few changes. I'm looking forward to doing that walkthrough with you on that one the second I get my hands on it, but it's gonna be hard to turn loose of this one. The old Black Magic X21. Absolutely love this boat. Thank y'all for watching Luke Duncan's Travel and Circus YouTube channel. Going to be a lot of fun in 2022. Lots of big things planned. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see y'all in the new year. Happy New Year!